Hello again, I'm Roger.
I'm John Vaughn.
And we have Kayla on the camera today. Thanks, Kayla.
Thanks, Adam.
In this segment, we want to talk about, as a small business owner, you're going to be taking calls on a regular basis from from consumers that are looking for your product or service. And John and I, we want to speak briefly as to almost tips and tricks of how to handle the phones when you get an inquiry coming in. Because it is true. Let's say you're in the service business. An emergency call is the most straightforward and easiest one to deal with. So if someone's got a frozen pipe or a plumbing issue where there's water coming up in the basement, they don't care so much about price, they just care about when you can come. Emergency, that's fairly straightforward. But let's say you've got somebody who's sort of inquiring, they've seen some stuff on the internet, they've watched some stuff in the magazines, they've been looking here and there and doing different touch points. They get a phone call. John, let's say someone was calling you and looking for, do you carry or do you offer a particular service? How would you handle a phone call of someone just sort of poking around asking general questions about availability and price?
So first I have to find out what is their ultimate need. What exactly is the service? What is wrong with the situation? Give me an outline. Give me a story tell me what exactly is wrong. Then I will kind of have an idea as to how I would diagnose it. Before giving any sort of price or timeline, someone has to understand the situation, right? And every price will vary depending on the urgency, how much product is needed and when my people are available to actually go out and see them, right? And depending on the level of urgency will depend on the price, right? There's another thing that you have to remember too. So in terms of like answering the call, you should always try to answer as many calls as you can in person, because today's world, everyone gets busy. They're actually doing the work themselves. And they may be using a paging service or an out of office, a digital service where they're not the ones actually answering the call. So if you're able to answer a lot of the inbound leads yourself, you're probably the best suited and fit to get that prospect to use you, because you're able to answer their problems immediately, right? Yeah. So the speed of answering the call and letting them know how you would diagnose it will determine how much of your conversion actually results into a sale.
Yes.
Right?
And I like the idea of when someone's calling looking for a price, to not really talk about price, but talk about value. So if somebody says, well, what's your price? What's your hourly wage? I would rather turn it around to first ask a couple questions and ask them permission. Could I ask you, what is your problem? What is the need? What have you been looking for? But then when you get to actually talk about your business, basically say something to the effect of, we offer way better value than any other business. So our hourly wage isn't as important as what we give you for your dollar spent with us.
And you may also mention that you have some sort of warranty or you have a very high retention rate where satisfaction guaranteed.
Yes.
There's other factors that will trigger why someone will go with you.
Sure.
Right?
Like let's say you're a roofer and someone says, hey, we get the cheapest prices in town. Well, you might be worried. You should be worried a little bit about that. I would, as the roofer, make sure that you, as the potential client, know that we're covered by WSIB, that we have all the proper insurances, and we'll show you our certificates. You do not want to have somebody fall off your roof or a ladder who's not properly insured working on your home. It is because you're the one that end up getting sued. So when you're looking for a business and you'll be asking about price, the company, you make sure as the provider to say, here's what we bring to the table, here's how we're going to take care of you and protect you at the same time.
Yeah, so of course there's different types of buyers. There's emergency buyers, someone that's just price shopping, so someone that's going to want you to do a bigger job. Say you have a rental project or even an SEO campaign because it's a long-term relationship. What are the steps and questions you will ask that prospect when you take them on is a little bit different than someone that needs it as an emergency.
Yeah, and there's the type of client that's unhappy with who they're dealing with today. That's a double-edged sword, because if they're unhappy, it's an opportunity for you, the business person, to pick up on your competitors' mistakes, because they've fallen down with service or lack of service, or they're charging too much, whatever it is. But we also, we learn this also, you need to understand that person who is unhappy with another business, you really need to uncover why they're unhappy, because you may not be able to make them happy either. So it's one of those things. As a business person, definitely they could be a brand new source of revenue for your business, but make sure you uncover why they left, who they're leaving.
The source. So figure out what the true reason was on why they left, and are they going to be a good customer for you?
Yeah.
And can you really satisfy them, or are they one of those people that will constantly complain about everything because nothing will ever make them happy?
It's so true.
Right?
So true.
So it's great that you're getting leads, but you also want to make sure that these leads convert to real customers that will pay you, because that's another thing. You're doing all the work and they can't pay you.
Yeah.
They can't afford to pay you, or they make excuses every time when it comes to payment.
Yeah.
Right.
We sort of talked about the competitive shopper looking for those prices again that we speak of. That they're very important, but it is one of those things where you just do not give prices over the phone. You want to understand what their needs are, bring them something that is that'll solve their problem, give them good value, and of course that you can pay your bills, but they're taken care of for what they need also.
So these are some of the tricks for when someone calls you from inbound, either on your website or a referral. So make sure you're always asking questions and making sure that you're prompt in response.
Yes.
And people can tell if you are making things up. So try to be as straightforward and honest as possible, and sound like you know what you're talking about, or else they will not want you to use you. Like you have to be the expert, and that's why they're consulting you. So know the answers, and this pretty much takes practice and years of practice, but as a business owner, you know your business better than anyone else, so you should be ready and prepared to answer any questions that people will be asking you.
All right, that's it for this segment. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Roger.